back to my workshop. This is the first video of 2021. Haven't posted a video in January or February, and it's now March the 3rd as I'm filming this. You might ask what I've been doing over the last few months. Well, absolutely nothing. Here in the UK we're still under lockdown. The earliest we're going to get to go racing is probably the first weekend in April. 1 or 2 meetings are starting to come through on the calendar now, although nothing down here in the south of England where I live. I could have started running the cars around the garden just to get a bit of practice in, but that's very, very expensive. It induces tyre wear, it induces engine wear, and that's not something I particularly wanted to do. I've been building a couple of model aeroplanes for people over the winter. All this crap behind you is the last of a model aeroplane build that I'm doing. Don't really do that many model aeroplane videos these days because I get much more response when I do a car video. So, and that's the purpose of tonight's video. I absolutely love this car. It's Kyosho NEO 3.0. Super piece of kit. It's got its Nova Rossi engine and pipe on it. It's got some uprated springs on it, and it's starting to handle quite well. And as soon as we get to go racing, it should start. Well, I'm looking forward to racing it again. Question is, it looks all the time it's got that body shell on it. It looks the same as every other Neo 3.0 that's out there. And as soon as you turn up at a race meeting, it's pretty obvious that you're using a ready-to-run car. I've had some interesting comments about it. No one said anything bad. I've had a few surprise looks when I was using the recoil start instead of the starter box in the first couple of meetings, but no one said anything bad. However, I like to be individual and a bit unique, and I wanted to do my own custom shell for it. There isn't a standard off-the-shelf shell for this car. I asked on a few Facebook forums, internet forums. Some people said that the MP7 shell would fit, others said it wouldn't. Had a chat with a couple of well-known Kyosho dealers, and they said try using the shell from the Kyosho NEO 3.0 electric version. Only thing is, I'll have to cut an exhaust aperture in it and an engine aperture in it, i.e. there and down on the other side of the car. Spin it around. And an exhaust aperture there. Not a problem at all. Also, like a fueling aperture as well. This is the piece of kit I bought. It's Kyosho part IFB164. I'm hoping it's going to fit. If it doesn't, it wasn't cheap. It was about 45 quid to buy one of these. In the box, we've got the window masks and everything. So let's just open this thing up for the first time and give it a trial fit. Put trash to one side. Well, it doesn't look as if it won't fit. Drop the shell off. These are stiff. It's a long time since I've done one of these. So let's get the shell off. Now, will the old shell fit the new? It should do. Dimensions are roughly the same, and interestingly enough, there's 2 holes at the front where the body clip should go, and I'm thinking, by looking at that, it will need the rear of the 2 holes punched out. I'm reasonably happy now that this body shell is going to fit, so I'm now going to take the plunge and I'm going to trim the shell off. Trimming a body shell, use a pair of these little blighters, a little pair of curved scissors. The end on the scissors is curved, which makes it much easier when you're cutting around holes and things. The other key thing you need is one of these, which is a body shell hole reamer. Horrible piece of kit. That thing is absolutely razor sharp, but the idea of it is if you're making small holes in the sides for the aerial or for the body mounts, it just goes straight through. Give it a good twist, and then it goes in. It's a lot easier than using an electric drill. So let's take the plunge and start cutting the shell away. That was a rather fraught 10 or 15 minutes going around this thing with these scissors. Going around all the little holes down around the front suspension was particularly difficult, and that will need to tidy up at some point with the scalpel. Also, I need to cut the aperture holes in there as well. Around the back's okay. I'll need to cut an engine hole in there, and I'm probably going to mask out that bit down the back as well. But now the $64,000 question, Does this body shell fit the Neo 3.0 Nitro? Let's have a go. But it's a different design at the back, but there's no, but down the front end, on the base, some of the back will probably need to be cut away down here, but I reckon that's gonna fit. And I know now I've cut that out, I'm gonna start drilling the holes out, and I'll start cutting the manifold apertures in there. First of all though, I'm gonna need to start spraying this. These shells have got like this plastic cling film like coating on the top that I can peel away, so if I get any overspray on the top part of the shell, it doesn't matter. So that's got the new shell on. It's got the masks, window masks on it. I've cut the aperture out at the back of the engine. It's still going to need a little bit of fettling. Down the front you can see everything fits. I cut the exhaust aperture in there. It would have been nice to have just put a normal hole in there, but I decided to cut like the little U cut out of it. This is the interesting thing around the side. I put the hole in to get the aerial tube out, and on the original Neo 3.0 shell, which I'll just bring in now, the aerial hole is actually in the side window. So this shell is completely different in dimensions on where the windows go in. Again, I've got all the rear cutaways. That needed a lot more cutting off. Engine aperture, that's going to need a little bit more fettling in there at some point, which I'll do shortly before painting. Down the sides you can see everything fits in nicely. I don't know why it said to cut that away. I might fill that back in again, I don't know. And yeah, that's the part that I fitted. That is the IFB 164, which is the Neo 3.0 VE body shell, which after a little bit of fiddling and fettling, it did fit reasonably well. Again, there's a fuel hole aperture. All of these lines on the top, this shell's covered in like this protective coating. You can just see it's coming away there. But once I finish painting, like the outer skin will just come off and the shell will have a really nice look onto it there. Cool. I think I'm going to wrap this video up here. This has been a shorter video than usual, and it was mainly just to do a video on an alternate clear shell for the Neo 3.0 Nitro. I'll do another video in a couple of days' time when I started painting this, and I'll put a link to the part in there. It's Kyosho partner IFB 164, and that's the body shell I use on the Neo 3.0 Nitro, and that's the electric shell. Then the other thing I bought over the last few weeks, like the black coloured aerofoil on there, but also wanted a white one because it's mainly easy to put decals on there. This isn't a genuine Kyosho part. I got this from a company called RC Scrapyard. This was all of a £5. I think I ordered it on the Thursday, and it dropped through the door on the Monday morning. So that's going to be drilled and fitted, and I'll get some nice looking decals on there. So hopefully when I do hit the track in April, I'll have a much more unique looking car than the RTR. I'll do another video in a few days when I've finished painting and prepping the shell and mounting it. But in the meantime, stay safe. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Got some new subscribers on there. Yeah, bye for now. Ta-da.